Hey, what's up, everyone? We're going live with episode 1 of Beer, Gaming, and Movies. I'm here with my friend Shannon. It's been a
Hello.
pretty crazy week when it comes to gaming, movies, so we have a bunch to go over. So we'll jump right into it. But what's new with you, Shannon?
Well, got more DJ gigs in the pipeline, so I'm very happy about that. Got a contract out, and hopefully going to sign that before the end of the evening. And yeah, looking forward to that gig.
Awesome. Yeah, that should be awesome. And if you need a good DJ, look her up, especially if you're in the upstate New York area.
j3-media.net.
So, first we're gonna have we're drinking a local brewery. We have some druthers here. I've got the
Represent.
Saratoga vibes. They have a few breweries around. Really nice setup. If you haven't checked it out, great place to check out.
Great patio.
Hopefully we get sponsored. Maybe do a show from there eventually. That'd be really nice. But we're gonna start off with a couple weeks ago. We went to the Silver Screamathon. That's the band Ice Nine Kills. They did 2 days of the full album of Silver Scream and Silver Scream Part 2, Welcome to Horrorwood. They put on a really good show. They've been opening for Metallica that weekend. They opened for Metallica in Philly. Then they did 2 shows in New Jersey. And it was a really nice place in New Jersey. It's called Montclair, I think.
Yeah, Montclair. I was surprised at what a nice little town that was. I'd go back there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but before the show, we had some good ramen. There was a good pizza place we found, and it was an interesting place. My sister went as well, so that was always a good time. She drives us and keeps us out of trouble.
You found us a good dive bar.
I did.
Always a priority.
The dive bar, though, we found on the second night. We found some more upscale place night before that was way too loud, so that wasn't as fun, but we made it a good time anyway.
It was fun. It was a little bit glamorous. Kind of reminded me of being in Vegas a little bit.
Yeah, we did find some dive bars in Vegas, though, so, if you look and you know where to look and it's what you want, you'll find it. So, yeah, they always put on a great show. It's very theatrical. They act out all the movies, and they played some songs that you'll never get to see them play again. I mean, I don't think they're going to do the box that much. Fly. So
that was a
night
highlight
too.
for me.
Buddy Nielsen's from New Jersey, so I was kind of hoping that he'd make a surprise appearance, but he lives in LA now, so that just didn't happen.
Of course, being a big Crow fan, hearing a Grave Mistake live was just like the pinnacle of my weekend.
Yeah,
So.
they don't do that one as much anymore.
No,
but
they
you
don't.
get it sometimes. I think
That was the first time. I mean, how many times have I gone along with you and Des and everybody? Like, well, I've probably seen them 4 or 5 times now. This is the first time they've actually played that song.
Yeah, I think I saw them play it for the Silver Scream Con 2. That was a really good show. Silver Scream Con 3, we just got the same set from with the In This Moment.
Yeah.
But the Sunday night show was kind of slow. Nothing too crazy. Saturday we ran into an interesting group. I'll let you
Saturday
tell that
we had
story.
a fun crowd.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I agree with New Jersey, but we found a decent part of it, so I get that.
Oh, dirty Jersey comment. Nah, this was far from dirty. It was a very, very nice town, actually.
Yep, it's my good friend Rod. Thanks for tuning in. And speaking of that, Rod, we're going to be talking about the Switch 2 later. You and I had a good conversation about that, so we'll definitely cover that later. But yeah, I went to get us beer, and then I come back, and you and Des are just talking to this group of guys like that are like married but not married situation.
Oh, I didn't care. I just wanted a better spot.
That's a good thing about going with 2 women is you get a better spot a lot easier. You don't have to tackle anyone. But I don't know. They got drunk and they had some bromance and wanted to include me in that.
A lot of bromance. And to think I was the one that initiated it, and I think the only single one of the bunch at the time. So
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of interesting how that night went. But they got really drunk, but they bought us beer. So, then we made our
free
way
booze.
to this
Can't go wrong.
really high class, loud place. But, we had a good time with it. We had a lot of fun. Sunday was a lot more chill. We went to a brewery, but the tap room was rented out. So we ended up just going to this awesome pizza place. And there was this bar right next to the venue. So we just went there. Yeah, Rod, exactly. Leaving Jersey is usually the best part. But for Silver Screamathon, I think you said you preferred night one.
I did, only because like the majority of that I hadn't heard like those tracks from. Like
Yeah, they do play
I kind of
two.
came in when Welcome to Horrorwood was big, so I kind of came into the whole Ice Nine Kills phenomena then.
What song were you most excited to see?
Oh, besides A Grave Mistake?
Yep.
World in My Hands. That was another one that's kind of a deep cut, pun intended.
So yeah, do you have anything else to add about the Silver Scream Con or?
Well, yeah, I think you touched upon like, the highlights. As I said, like as you were mentioning before, like Sunday was a little bit more subdued. I think everybody was still hungover from the night before who attended.
We needed it.
Yes, we did. But, once the music started going, we were troopers. We all had multiple concerts within the course of like 1 week. So, yeah. And that was concert number 4 for me throughout the course of 7 days. And I think, 3 for you?
Yeah, 3. We also went to Breaking Benjamin and Stain the night before, which was a
fun
good
show.
time.
Aaron Lewis, chain smoking for 30 years on stage, and his voice is still pristine. Like, whatever you think about him personally, but his voice is still spot on.
Rod, yeah, I've been in the house. Rod said that Screamathon, every time the Rangers score a goal, I've been at his house. It is accurate. So, next up, this week was the PlayStation State of Play. First, we're going to cue this up.
Oh, you're getting all fancy.
Trying to. Gotta get my glasses out for this.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't read any of the comments because I don't have my readers.
No problem. Let's skip this. I should have had this over before.
Hi, I'm Nicholas Duce.
So this is Astrobot.
It's a pleasure to be back today.
They're showing...
What the last few months
they're adding 5 new levels. This is a great platforming game.
Last September to such
Cool.
encouraging feedback.
It's very like kid friendly. It's kind of like Mario Galaxy, but for kids.
We added 5
Or
levels,
for
followed by
PlayStation.
special pack with festive surprises.
It's a lot of fun. It's a fun looking game. I have it. Probably one of the best games I played last year. Actually, it won Game of the Year last year. It was pretty popular.
No additional cost. And today, I am pleased to announce that
So
later
5
this
free
month,
levels. That's always
you will be able
cool.
to enjoy
We'll take
5
free
brand
whenever
new
we can.
challenge levels
Free is
in
good.
Astrobot, bringing the total to a whopping 90 planets. And new special bots will be there too, including
Quiet that up. Let's see. Well, this is more your speed. This is the new James Bond game.
Okay, yeah. Any kind of shooters or spy stuff I'm all about.
Did you watch this State of Play or the Games Fest at all?
I didn't get a chance to, no. I've hardly been at home. It's been nonstop for me between getting DJ gigs all set and other side hustles that I have going on.
Fair enough. We won't do as many trailers normally, but it was just the State of Play and
There's so much going on this week.
and Game Fest. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad you didn't see this though, so you can
Okay.
react live.
All right, cool.
His parents cut their own rope to save him.
I know.
Then found
I
his way
need
off
to get contacts or do
He
LASIK
was
finally.
11 years old.
He then started a grand tour of every major boarding school in
This game's made by the same people that made the Hitman games. Have you ever?
Oh,
Shannon's
Hitman,
more
yeah.
of a classic gamer, so
Praise his instincts.
Yeah, Unreal Tournament, Quake 3,
what to do
Doom.
with him, Mom.
I'm modern and
Those are
classic.
my
I'll
jams.
play it all.
He feels the same way.
I'll play anything.
I'll be getting back into the modern stuff pretty soon here, once I have a free moment.
Utterly reckless. He only survived thanks to blind luck. Give me one good reason to put him in the program, Mom.
How about you, Rod? You check out any of the new games coming out?
It's really quite simple. Bond is a bullet without.
But yeah, Hitman doing the Bond game, it's kind of perfect actually. The Hitman games are very good, especially the World of Assassins. I do highly recommend that series.
Cool.
And they're actually doing a they're doing the Casino Royale level in the Hitman game.
All right, that's pretty badass.
And then now they're going to make a whole Bond game, which is, right up their alley.
Shouldn't have.
We're facing a situation of the utmost delicacy. I need all my pieces on the board.
009 is a master manipulator. Whatever the end game is, we won't see it coming.
Yeah, it just looks like a new iteration of the Hitman games, and you get all the James Bond gadgets, which is always a plus.
Every time.
I think it's a younger Bond, so it's like early in his career.
With respect, Mom.
I kind of like that idea, going for like the younger, and it appeals towards, the demographic for the video games too.
Yeah, and it's kind of a cool time period. Like right there they got the classic looking car.
Yeah.
So
Well, you gotta have the car if you're doing James Bond.
oh yeah,
It's gotta have a cool,
Can't be
cool
without it.
car.
and games this generation are definitely starting to hit their stride. They're looking really really good now.
Well, I like how interactive they are now. Like, I'm not really used to that whole aspect of it. So it's kind of like you're involved in like a whole movie kind of a thing yourself, and you control what happens next. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The classic shooters and strategy were very kind of cut and dry, but I love playing those. I had a lot of fun. But definitely we'll have to branch out sometime soon. That does look good.
Close that out. Let's see what we got next. All right, here's a good one. How familiar are you with Castlevania?
Pretty familiar.
That's a older Nintendo series.
We used to play that way back in the day, like middle school.
It's actually one of my favorite series. What's his name? Josh, the author. Him and I did a playthrough. So.
Oh, Josh, yeah, from Comic-Con, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, yeah, if he's listening right now, Josh, what's up? His latest short story was really good. I just got done reading that not too long ago.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just like a new iteration of Castlevania. It's from one of the original creators. They did 3 games in this series. They did one that was like a more modern. They did 2 that were like the NES games. Which is fun, you fight creatures, vampires, all the gothic imagery. The Castlevania series on Netflix is very, very good.
Oh, nice. I didn't realize they made a series.
Yeah, I made Desiree watch it not that long ago.
Nice.
It's very good. The first series, at least. The second one's decent,
Yeah.
but not as much.
It's funny that you mentioned the gothic imagery, because I'm looking at the images here and I'm thinking like, okay, that's really cool, right up my alley. I like what they're doing with the monsters.
Oh yeah.
With me. Cross.
Tonight, we start our mission.
Yeah, there's been like a shortage of games, so it's good that there's more coming now because it's been kind of
Well, you're going to be busy, I know now.
I know. It's been pretty brutal.
From Ghost of Yotei.
I think that's one of the next one's coming up. Speaking of Ghost of Yotai. Yeah. So this one's going to be really cool. So yeah, these are the newer games though. This is what you can look forward to. And I'm a huge retro player, so I like playing it all. Eventually we'll get someone to help out and be a producer. Goals. Don't mind the ad.
I was slacking. You see this?
I gotta get YouTube Premium. Oh, that's not what I meant to click. It's supposed to be go see Otai. Hold on.
You just had it up a second
I
ago.
know. I gotta go. There it goes. I must have played it in the background by accident. This is a short one.
All right. So what's this one about?
It's a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, which takes place when the Mongols invaded Japan, and you play as the Ghost of Tsushima, who he's caught between being an assassin and samurai. And
oh, cool!
It's a really good game that came out a couple years ago for the PS4, and they did a remaster for the PS5. This is a sequel. It's coming out in a couple months, and it's one of the games I'm most looking forward to this year. I don't think they show too much, but this is a tale about vengeance, so I think I'm pretty sure her family gets killed and she's hunting down the killers. So.
Gotcha.
Looks really cool though. And Sucker Punch makes a very good looking game. Oh, this is one I'm pretty excited for. So this is the remake of Final Fantasy Tactics, which is it's a turn-based like tactic game. I don't know if you'd like the gameplay that much, but it's got a really cool like medieval story.
Okay.
It's a lot of like political intrigue and like betrayal, and it's a really cool story, and kind of looks at how the storybooks can be changed by the victor, because like I don't want to spoil it, but one character, kind of rises to power and like makes him look like a hero, but he's not quite the hero that people believe he is. So.
Gotcha.
Showed us how to make a whistle of a blade of grass.
So that's going to be a cool one. Like I said, there's just been so much. I didn't grab everything. Let's see. All right, this is one I really wanted to show you. Metal Gear Solid's one of my favorite series.
Okay, yes, you've been talking Metal Gear. That's probably the next game I'll start once I have my system up and running.
I think you would like them all, but this one takes place during the Cold War.
History is cool, so yeah.
And you're pretty much by yourself in Russia as a splinter agent. So like if if you get caught, the U.S. is going to pretend you're acting
screwed
on your own. Yep.
Loading like this, it's a revolution. All right, Commander.
And a lot of great voice actors. I mean, David Hayter voices Snake, and I got his autograph at the Comic-Con.
That was pretty cool. He seemed nice.
He was, yeah. He's got an awesome voice too. He's wrote some pretty cool movies too. He wrote X2. I mean, the games are they're Hideo Kojima games, so they're kind of very over the top, but
over the top isn't bad. All in good fun.
So, what do you think of that?
Oh yeah, I'd play that.
It's like a stealth game. You sneak around. It's so much fun.
Now, as I said, the whole like combo of like history and fiction in the story is kind of my jam.
Yeah, it does that pretty good. I mean, it's obviously like an alternative history, but it's really cool. This is the new Silent Hill game coming out. One of my
I haven't
favorite-
read the comment section to the preview yet, but I know Silent Hill fans are very passionate.
Yeah, I've made a couple of videos for Silent Hill, and they've been interesting. Silent Hill 2 remake was really good. Silent Hill 2 is one of my favorite horror games of all time. That and the original Dead Space. But this one takes place in Japan, so it's going to do a lot of the Japanese horror. I think that's going to be
That's
interesting.
cool. That's going to be a cool angle, I think.
Yeah, the combat's always rough in these games, but you play it mostly for the atmosphere. So the original Silent Hill, the only reason they did the mist is what makes it interesting, because you can't see much because
Yeah,
there's
you
always
can't
a
see.
mist. The reason they did that is because of the hardware just couldn't draw distance very far, so they just put the fog in to, kind of make up for it.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it turned out to make the game. Because now you don't have any Silent Hill games without the fog.
Yeah,
Have you seen any of the Silent Hill movies?
I have. I've seen the first one.
First one's the only one. It's not worth watching the second one. The first one's,
Well, that's what I heard, so I didn't go
and
past
even the first one's got
the
its
first movie.
issues, but at least the guy that made it was a big fan of the series.
He got the mood down really well, I thought. I don't know. I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, just the ending got a little bit weird on that.
It was kind of a weird ending.
They kind of went off the deep end with that. But yeah, I mean, the creatures look decent. The combat, again,
Yeah.
is always a little rough in these games, but they're doing some kind of thing with flowers. Like there's like a lot of like petals. I don't know. I'm sure it's like some of the Japanese horror.
Well,
but
I was going to say, is it cherry blossoms?
I think it is,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why.
the concept art looked really cool, so I'm really curious what
Yeah.
they come out with. And it looks like they're doing some interesting creatures. I mean,
Well, that's pretty gnarly looking right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
yeah, it's a good way to end a trailer on there.
Nightmare fuel right there.
Yeah, I still think the scariest game I played was the first time I ever played Dead Space 1. Let's see. Oh yeah. I got like two more games to look at. Let's see. Of course, there's a new Resident Evil, so of course we got to talk about this. I'm a
Oh,
huge
boy.
fan of Resident Evil. And obviously, I'm not going over everything that was announced and released.
Well, then we'd be here all night.
Yeah.
There's a lot coming out.
Yeah, it's like a 3-hour show. So
I was reading up a little bit about it. I didn't get to watch anything last night, but a few things did come across my news feed.
So what's interesting about this new Resident Evil is they said it's going to change the series. And it's called Requiem. So I feel like they're going to try to do like the requel thing, which a lot of horror movies have done.
Yep.
Because it looked like you play as this. I think her name's Grace, and she's related to one of the characters, I think, from Code Veronica, if I remember right.
Okay.
She's an FBI agent. But then I think you play as Leon, he's the main character of the second game, fourth game. He's a big character in the series. So
Vaguely remember Code Veronica.
as a Dreamcast, that was a big,
Yeah,
big
yeah.
one for
That
Dreamcast.
was me and my college roommate used to play that.
When you get back into gaming, I highly recommend the 2 remakes. The
Awesome.
Resident Evil 2 remake's really good.
Mm-hmm.
3's not as good, but still pretty good. But the second game is very, very good.
It'll be ready in 3. No, 2 days tops.
Put a hold on that for now. We found another body. One that exhibits the same pathology as the others we've been investigating.
Now I need a good technical analyst on this.
Okay.
I need your eyes on the crime scene. The Renwood Hotel. I know that's where your mother was murdered.
That's probably a Code Veronica thing or something that I have to play Code Veronica again. I actually just got a Dreamcast not too long ago. I plan to do a video on it soon because I didn't have a Dreamcast growing up, so I'm pretty excited to have one.
Oh my gosh.
And, I'm doing a video.
You need to invite me over sometime when we got to play then. I miss my old Dreamcast.
I mean, I have the Dreamcast on my arcade machine, but I definitely am excited to like do some videos with the physical Dreamcast. And I also got a Sega Saturn. I got a Japanese one, which I modded so it can play US and Japanese games. So I plan to do a video on that as well once I get more games for it. But Sega Saturn games are expensive. It didn't do as well here as it did in Japan.
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for.
Yeah, I was mostly a PC gamer, but I did like my Dreamcast.
Miss Ashcroft.
Rod, I know you do. We'll get you one someday. I mean, they're not that bad, especially if you get like, I think you can get a Japanese one and we can mod it. I think it's a little bit cheaper if you do it that way. It's true for the Sega Saturn at least. But you can get a Dreamcast for around $100. It's not too bad.
I might actually still have my Dreamcast games somewhere.
Yeah, I've only got a couple Dreamcast games. I gotta get some.
I only had a handful.
Rod actually got me into Power Stone, so I'm looking for Power Stone, but it's very expensive. It's a fun game. And of course, yeah, Sonic Adventure 2. Code Veronica is another one. Motu PS2 game. I probably do. I have a huge library, so I'll have to take a look and see what I have for that. Hey, no autoplays. I gotta turn autoplay on YouTube decided to turn itself on, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, overall, well, I'll say my thoughts on the PlayStation State of Play and Summer Games Fest after this, but so this one looks like a fun multiplayer game.
Of a brand new game in Deception We Trust.
Rod, I know. It's like I sold a lot of my games when I was in college because I was a broke college kid, and they're worth so much money now, especially with PS2 games. It's so depressing. I had like Shadow Hearts 1 and 2. This is, I think it's called Killer Inn. It's like a, are you familiar with the game Among Us?
No, not that one.
It's like some people are these aliens, some people are crewmates, and you got to figure out you got to vote out who's not human.
Okay.
Before they, kill.
That's fun.
Before they kill too many people.
Gotcha.
So it's called Killer Inn. It's pretty much Among Us, but Clue and like.
Okay.
So the wolves.
That's a cool concept. I like it.
The wolves have to try to kill the lambs, and the lambs have to figure out who the killers are.
Okay.
Unmasking the culprits. Who is guilty will eventually come to light. Wolves win by killing every lamb. Lambs win by
yeah, Rod. You can probably find that on eBay.
But there's so much more to this game of murderous mystery.
Rod, I could have sold those as well, but the games were the easiest at the time, and unfortunately, now I'm buying them all back.
Then you'd better escape the castle. Now the paths to victory are clear.
My friend Sarah is excited for this game, so we're gonna have a good group with that.
Awesome.
You mind grabbing me one of those 2 beers? I don't care which one.
Oh, sure.
I think they're on your side.
Yep. There you go.
Oh. All right, let's see what we got next up. Thank you. And of course, they showed Death Stranding 2, which is the new Hideo Kojima game. I still need to play through Death Stranding 1, so I don't want to talk about too much or look at that much because I still need to play it. I know I'm a huge fan. I've played all of his games except for Death Stranding, and I'll probably play it once I'm done with Oblivion, or I still have to play Doom Dark Ages. I'm behind.
You're still playing Oblivion?
Oblivion is it's a large game. I've put like 50 hours into it. I'm almost done, but I'm a completionist, so
I knew it was a long game, but I thought you'd be...
No, I've only put like 40, 50 hours, and I just have to finish the Dark Brotherhood and the Shivering Isles, and then beat the game, and then I'm good, but we'll get there. And Capcom's making a new Onimushu game, which is like a samurai game where you fight like demons. It's really cool. There's a new game called Felt That 2 Boxing, which it's like puppets boxing, which is kind of weird, but it looked like super realistic and funny, so...
It sounds fun, especially after I've had a couple beers.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun with a bunch of friends.
That would be fun with a bunch of friends, yeah.
Then Mina the Hollower was also announced, which Mina the Hollower is made from the people that made Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight's a good retro style game. I love retro style games like that and The Messenger. So looking forward to that one. Scott Pilgrim EX or X was announced. You familiar with the Scott Pilgrim series at all? The movie or the graphic novel?
The movie, I am, yeah.
The movie's a fun time. The graphic novels are great, and this is going to be a beat 'em up game. And
Sweet.
Kind of like River City Ransom or Double Dragon.
Okay, yep. Speaking my language, Double Dragon.
Right, at one point we'll get there. Sega Dreamcast Ready to Rumble. I think that was out for the PlayStation 1, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Oh, I'll put it back on us too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ready to Rumble was for the PS1 as well. And Ready to Rumble was a fun series. I think it was like very arcadey, if I remember correctly. And like I said, I've been working on my arcade machine. I can't wait to have the barcade done. This is a temporary set because I still have to do a lot of work on this. But once all the drywall's up and I put the bar in, I have the arcade machine right over there. This will all look different, but right now
It'll be a pretty sweet setup.
We're gonna work with the green screen for now. But yeah, right. I think Electronic Arts makes it, and it's pretty fun. My friend Nick and I played it. We played some at Comic-Con. You had to come work the table one of these years at Comic-Con.
Oh, we always have a great time at Comic-Con.
Sometimes too much fun.
Too much, yeah. Big Dumb Monsters crew will tell you. Shout out to them.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to get them on this sometime too. Like I said, we kind of just threw this together and there's a lot of stuff going on. So,
Yeah, we'll find our flow. So thank you for all that have tuned in and for our very first episode.
Yeah, exactly. And, I'm going to put this on other platforms. Ooh, this is pretty good. It's lime. Key Lime Time. Sour ale brewed with fruit.
Yeah. I think I recommended that one.
Yeah, it's got
either that or a bartender did.
Yeah, it's just you taste lime. If you like lime, it's right up your alley.
Lime beer, like a Corona.
Rod, you can wear whatever you want. We this year we cosplayed as the Phantom Thieves from Persona 5.
That was a lot of fun. I like playing dress up. I'm like every day is Halloween anyway, so any excuse.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out something fun for next year. We might they do 2 every year, so
if we could get others to commit to it, we could do something bigger, like I don't know. What were you suggesting that we do for the fall?
So we were thinking Final Fantasy VI because those characters are fun. We had a couple other things we were thinking too, and then we also have the Silver Scream Con coming up, so we're gonna maybe dress up for that as well. Oh, I was thinking about doing maybe Ash from Evil Dead one of these years. That would be a lot of fun.
That would be fun.
You guys could do like Deadites. So
I'm open. So that's a cool idea.
That could be fun. There's a bunch we can do, so we'll definitely figure it out. Well, you can save the He-Man costume for the the summer one. A lot of people do things like that, though. We saw a couple of people dressed up as, like, I've seen people as Kratos, from the early God of Wars, not even the requel or whatever you want to call it, God of War 2016 or whatever it was. God of War games are really good. You would like those. They're
Cool.
fun action games, and they're just really good. The new one and Ragnarok were both really good as well. And God of War 3 is a classic, so is 2. The first one's good too. Oh, I did bring that up. I briefly said the Sharks will get a Stanley Cup at some point. They're going to do a Celebrini.
I was going to say, I think some of my favorite cosplays that I've seen at these cons that we've done. Well, I know there was a really awesome Pyramid Head at last year's Silver Scream Con.
Yeah,
you got a picture of
I
Pyramid
had
Head,
to
right?
get the picture, and there was a gender bender
Yeah.
Pyramid Head, which was fun. She did
Yeah,
really
they
good
were
job.
cool.
And then
Very cool.
they also, there was a really good Lady D from Resident Evil.
Yep.
She was on stilts and everything. Pretty awesome.
Well, Saratoga Comic Con, I saw a really good Cloud too from Final Fantasy. Of course, everybody does Cloud, but they were pretty good. I don't know.
Rod, I'm getting closer to 40 and you are 40. We're pretty much considered grandparents nowadays, especially by internet age. And you said you brought, just in case I polish this off, you said you brought something?
Oh, no, I didn't this time around because I didn't have time to stop.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. I got more in the fridge.
Okay.
We have nothing to worry about. There's plenty.
I figured as much. So next time, I'll bring it next week because that's a really good beer that I had
Perfect.
in mind. And it's a local brewery and they're kind of up and coming. And yeah, we got to give them a shout out because they're awesome.
Will do. And Rod, how's everything sound? Just because we didn't really do, I did it kind of a sound test, but just want to double check everything's good. Thank you.
Awesome.
And while we're waiting for that, we'll talk about the Switch 2 launch. Were you much of a Nintendo fan?
Way back when my friends had it, my parents wouldn't get me a Nintendo for whatever reason. So I always played at my friend Becky's house growing up. So like just the basics, Duck Hunt, Super Mario Brothers.
Do you have like a favorite Nintendo game?
Super Mario we played all the time, so it'd probably be that one.
Awesome. Thank you, Rod. Appreciate it. Yeah, I love the Nintendo and Super Nintendo. I mean, I had a Nintendo first. I mean, my older brother did, and then I got a Super Nintendo. I was born in 89, so, the Super Nintendo, I think, came out in 90... Rod will correct me, but Super Nintendo was either 91 or 92, I believe.
I was going to say, I know it was early 90s. I want to say 91, but...
Could be 93, but...
details are fuzzy.
Yeah. And then, I think
I was pretty young at that
I think it had
time,
to be
too.
91 because I know the PlayStation was 95, I believe. And PS1 and... Trucks and Magic Tournament will join afterwards. Oh, yeah. This week's the Final Fantasy release. 92. Okay, yep. Yeah, that generation went pretty quick because, the Sony PlayStation was, I think, 95 and 64 wasn't long after, maybe 96, or that was 95 too as well. But great time in gaming. I love the PS1. I love Super Nintendo. Like I said, Nintendo, my favorite games because I was a kid. The original DuckTales or Mega Man 2.
Oh,
Mega Man
DuckTales. I forgot about that one.
Mega Man 2's got such great music. I'm a big fan of gaming music, as you know. Big gaming music nerd, but I love a lot of music and bands, but a huge fan of gaming soundtracks. But yeah, Mega Man 2, DuckTales. I'm working on my top 20 favorite Nintendo and PS1 games. Yeah, so almost 92, pretty close. Thanks, Rod. Yeah, and then, PlayStation, Final Fantasy 7, Metal Gear Solid. PlayStation's when I really, really got into gaming, so I have a lot of nostalgia for that generation. Even though the 3D graphics are a little rough nowadays, the games are still really, really good and a lot of fun. And But yeah, so we're going to talk about the Switch 2. We're talking about Nintendo. So have you played much of the first Switch? I think the first Switch is a good console. It's just super dated.
Yeah, I've never played the Switch, no.
Yeah, I mean, it revolutionized the handheld market because even when the Wii U was struggling, Nintendo did really well with like the DS, 3DS, Game Boy Advance. They've done really well to handheld market. So the Switch kind of combined the two. Revolutionary, but now everyone's making the PC handhelds. The PC handhelds are really good. I'm a huge fan of the Steam Deck. I appreciate the Switch 2. I had a good opportunity to get one. Rod, who's in chat, offered me one, but I had to turn it down because for $550, I'm kind of disappointed with the specs because the screen's not LED. It's not OLED. You know, it's got HDR, but without OLED, it's kind of wasted. You can't really get the advantage of the HDR. It's only got 256 gig for the space. In the launch library, only had Mario Kart World, which to me doesn't look as good as Mario Kart 8, especially with all the content. You know, I don't think you'll be disappointed if you get it. I'm just holding off to like a revision or something. But yeah, it's just the next step up. Oh, wow. You got your first NES in 88? I wasn't even born then, so maybe that's what my older brother got, because my older brother's your age. But yeah, he found one for $150 off that was a return, which I almost jumped on because at that price, you know, it's worth it then. But at the same time, I kind of want a revision that's got an OLED screen, more space, and more games. I mean, you guys tell me I'm more than just Mario Kart, but again, you know, if you're excited about the Switch, I'm excited for you. I love my Steam Deck, though. I can stream it from anywhere in my house. I mean, if a game's too big or too graphically intense for it, I just stream it from a gaming PC in my yard, anywhere. It's great.
Your Steam Deck is pretty cool.
yeah, exactly. The Steam Deck was inspired by the Switch, so, you know, and there's a lot of options with that. Like, you can get the ROG Ally. There's just so many of them, and there's going to be many more. They're just going to keep making more. And the Switch 2 will get a revision. They'll do, whether they do a Pro or just like an OLED version, then maybe I'll think about it, depending on the price of that. Yeah, so Rod just corrected me. It's $350 for this Switch 2, which I probably should have got just to do a video on, but, you know, I'm also kind of not happy with some of Nintendo's policies, so we'll revisit that, though. Hopefully.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you want to go into detail about that, or?
I mean, people already know they're very much against emulation and very draconian, but
okay, yeah, it kind of is.
But they're all, you know, big evil corporations. So friends were getting me Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and my mom got me my NES. Oh, that's great.
Nice.
That's a rough first game to get, though. Mike Tyson's Punch Out. You know, just getting pummeled and having to learn on the fly. You didn't have the internet back then. You couldn't like learn all the tricks and secrets. You just had to go through.
Figure it out, yeah.
Have you Rod, have you beaten Tyson? But yeah, I know you're not, you know, much into Nintendo, so I'm sure you don't have much to say, but I say hold out. There'll probably be a better version of it, but you know, I'm sure it's really cool and I hope people have fun with it.
As I said, if my parents would have allowed me to play video games when I was younger, I totally would have. But instead, I just had to go to my friends. Being the rebel that I was and still am. But
there you go. Well, she's not as much of a gamer, but she does like to see movies, so.
Oh, yeah. We have a lot of movie stuff to talk about, too.
We do.
And I would be more of a gamer if there were more hours in my day.
Yeah, you got to kind of make time. I just don't sleep is what I do.
Yeah, I know. I need to sleep because I'm old. And you will be old someday, too.
I'm trying to fight that one off as long as I can.
There's no fighting it after a while.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. So, there is movie news, but I guess we'll talk about the movies that came out recently. Last week was Ballerina from the world of John Wick.
That was fun. I expected it to be just a great big pile of doo-doo, but I enjoyed it.
I was a little worried about that one because of all the reshoots. You know, whenever you hear there's a bunch of reshoots, it usually makes
That
the
was a
movie
big
kinda
red
messy.
flag for me too.
But I mean, it had a solid director. I mean, he's had some missteps, but Underworld's a good movie. And
Underworld was my jam back in the day. I loved that movie. I'm all about the vampires and all spooky stuff
same.
anyway.
Vampire, werewolves, and Kate Beckinsale.
Well, there you go.
You had me at
Of
Kate Beckinsale.
Of course, yeah.
So it's a fun action movie. It starts off a little slow because
it does take a while to get into it.
Because you gotta start with an origin story, because of course you do, because it's a new character. They do a quick cameo with John Wick. Keanu Reeves shows up, and you think that might be all you get from him.
Well, that's what I thought, because I knew like Keanu was going to make an appearance at some point in time, but I didn't think that it was going to be.
He's a big
more
player.
than just that one scene.
He's a big player in the third act, which is awesome, because you get a lot of him, which is always great. He's so great in the movie. He's great as John Wick. That's why they made 4 movies. They killed him off, and they're gonna bring him back for a 5th one because money talks.
Oh, of course. Well, I've always had a soft spot for Keanu Reeves ever since The Matrix. Well, I mean, even before that, like we go back to Speed, Bill and Ted, great movie.
That. But yeah, it's a gun fu movie. You don't really have to think too hard about. There's a cool flamethrower battle.
The flamethrower battle was pretty awesome. I think that was probably the highlight of the movie. I mean, besides Keanu having a bigger part than I thought he was going to have.
Yeah, the flamethrower fight was cool. There was cool fights, interesting.
There was some funny kills.
Yeah,
that was great.
I laughed, and there's one part where she doesn't have weapons; she just has grenades, and she just like figures out different ways to take out the bad guys without blowing herself up. It's absolutely
if you've
insane.
taken physics, just don't think about it. Just roll with it.
just look at the explosions and laugh. That's all you can do.
Yeah, because half the stuff she did, she wouldn't have survived. But
it's amazing how often.
Spoiler alert! Sorry.
No, it's fine. The movie's already out, so I don't care about talking about spoilers.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask if you wanted this to be spoiler free or not.
I mean, we can talk a little bit about spoilers. I don't think there's much to say because it's just kind of like
it's just a shoot 'em up revenge film.
Shoot 'em up revenge film.
And a good
what
time.
You're getting into. Not as good as the first John Wick movie. I don't know if I'd put it above any of the John Wick movies, especially not the first 1, 2, and 4. I thought 3. Personally, my weakest is part 3, but I know some people really like that one. 4 is awesome. 1 and 2 are great, and this is a good addition. And they definitely kind of leave the door open for a sequel with her.
They do, and I don't know. I thought the lead actress was really good.
Oh yeah, she's good. She's in one of the
James Bond.
Yeah,
yep.
Exactly. So
no, she plays a great.
Seeing her in
great double agent, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah, seeing her in that James Bond movie, you know that she's you should be perfect for this. And then we can also talk about Bring Her Back, which I know you were a big fan of.
It had good elements to it, like visually. And yeah, it was like that. I could appreciate how it made you feel uncomfortable, but it was just kind of a downer of a movie.
But
and there wasn't anything hopeful about it, or nobody really kind of.
Did you watch Talk to Me yet?
No, I haven't.
It's from the creators of Talk to Me. They were YouTubers.
I'm still cleansing.
Talk to Me is good, but it's the same thing. A lot of horror is doing this. A lot of tropes with a lot of trauma stuff.
Yeah,
it's kind of what horror is right now. They're really.
I was going to say, if you've worked with kids who've experienced trauma, then this might not be the movie for you.
True. I mean, See No Evil is kind of the same way, but yeah, it definitely feeds on that. But the actress, I can't remember her name right now, but she was really good as a crazy stepmom who.
The crazy stepmom. She did great. She gave me chills. She was creepy.
What I loved about Bring Her Back too is they were subtle about things. Like there's a lot of things they don't explain. They just kind of do. It's implied that she was drugging one of the main characters because he has these protein creatine shakes, and he was woke up like drooling, and there's no explanation, and he thinks it's because he's suffering from loss from his dad dying, and there's like a whole backstory. They don't hit you over the head
There's
with
a
everything.
whole great big, mind fuck, pretty much. So
yeah, they
on this poor kid who's like what, 17, 18? No.
And that's another thing I gotta say about this movie too is child actors before were pretty bad, but the two kids in this were very,
these
very
kids
good.
were good.
Especially there's
Really
this
good.
there's this like smaller like little kid.
Oh, the demon child
who gets he's got a demon inside of him, and he's just like this creepy kid that acts weird. And then there's a scene where
he's super creepy. He did a great job.
Jaw's biting in a knife, and then he bites on a bench, and it's pretty gross.
It's gnarly.
It had some
Anything
surprising
with
gore
teeth.
parts, but yeah. Yeah, those parts were, a little bit tough, but
Definitely not for the faint of heart.
I had fun with it. It was definitely like different. I wouldn't put it on like a top 10 list or anything, but it's definitely up there with Talk to Me. I'm not sure if I like it. I like things about this. I like things about Talk to Me. I don't know which I think is a better movie between them, but if you like Talk to Me, it's definitely more of the same stuff as that. And I say definitely check it out if you haven't, especially, it's an A24 lower budget horror movie. They always do well.
But they had interesting camera shots too, and just like the mood lighting and stuff was that was spot on. That I could really appreciate from an artistic standpoint.
Yeah, no, and being low budget and pretty much taking place in a house, it definitely kept you interested, which I appreciate because movies in one location.
Yeah, it was kind of confined to just one space.
Movies in one location can kind of, get boring or uninteresting and take too long. But this movie,
this wasn't like that. It was engaging. It kept you engaged. It kept you invested in the characters.
It moved right along.
Yeah.
In like the John Wick ballerina, I kind of wish they could have shaved maybe like 15 minutes off somehow. I think that would have made it a little bit better, but
they could have edited out like her whole like build up and training and all of that. Like, okay,
they kind of montage, but
they could have done more of that. I don't know, but at the same time, I enjoyed the whole like ballerina take on it too. Like, so it wasn't just like, okay, another female badass recruit, learning the ropes to get revenge.
Yeah, and I also appreciate that they were just like, you're going to be weaker and smaller than everyone you come up against, so you have to cheat. And they're like,
yep.
And she fought dirty.
That was another thing I really appreciated, because a lot of these films, like, Marvel does this left and right, where, the woman is just a badass and she's stronger and better than all of her male counterparts, and you're just like sitting there going like, yeah, no, there's no way. But even though the Marvel universe is fantasy, it's just it's so over the top that there's just like no way. But the fact that they put that out there with being like, yeah, you're smaller, you're not going to be as strong as the people you're coming up against, and therefore you got to use the fact that you're smaller, and quicker to your advantage, kind of a deal. That was good.
Brian jumped in chat and said we should have watched Star Trek First Contact instead. That'll be next on the list. I gotta catch up on my Star Trek. I got next. I got the original series. I got next. I got all the series on Plex, and I plan to run through them. I know you and
we should do a watch party sometime.
Yeah, we definitely can with Plex. So I'd love to do some watch parties, but I'll have to refer to you on what to start out with, because I've seen Star Trek, but like I watched random episodes with my dad growing up. So
I watched Next Generation way back when, but I'm more of a Star Wars gal. I liked Star Trek though. So
Rod, is that definitely for watch parties? Because I have the server to set it up, so you're welcome to join. We're gonna move on to the Jason universe update, but I'm gonna go grab beers. So I don't know if you can take.
Oh, you want me to entertain? Okay.
Yes.
Well, you know what? This is where I will do what I do best and talk about music, because I've been a DJ for the past 20 years, and I kind of I have a background in radio and TV. So I worked in radio for several years once I graduated from college. And then I got into the club DJ circuit, and I had a club night out in Albany for several years, and I would book bands. I booked bands from all over the world. Did that for like a decade, went out on my own for a bit and got like guest gigs all over the place. New York, LA. I even had an overseas gig back in 2017. So that was really cool. So yeah, I'll talk about some music stuff. My favorite band, people who know me, they always associate me with the alt rock band from the 90s, Garbage. I'm obsessed with them. Lead singer Shirley Manson, loved them from day one. They just came out with a fantastic new album. There we go. Let All That We Imagine Be the Light. Kind of a concept record. If you guys are familiar with any of their stuff from the 90s, a lot different. They never make the same record twice, and that's something like I love about them personally. Very different. Kind of a film noir type concept that they have going on. So if you appreciate things dark and spooky and listening to something in the background, you know, on a rainy night, then this is the record for you. And all right, you're back with more beers. I gave my shameless garbage plug.
That's fine.
They're doing a headline tour this fall. Go check it out if you like the band. And yeah.
And I'll jump in with my music part. My favorite band, Silverstein's, ending their 25 years in noise tour in Brooklyn. I will definitely be there.
They put on a great show too.
Let's see.
They're very different from Garbage, but I love them. I love the energy that they bring to the stage, and Shane's just a great lyricist and vocalist.
Oh yeah, it's been my favorite band for years. Anything Trek, Rod, you're more than welcome. Like I said, I've mostly watched sporadic episodes, but I have to catch up. Holy Trinity of sci-fi debate. Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica.
Oh my God.
Rod's a big Battlestar Galactica fan. He actually let me borrow his copies. I added a Plex.
Nice.
They're always classics. So, Brian, have you been watching Andor? Everyone says season 2 is great. I haven't got to it yet. Oh, Brian, I ripped that. So I did it. It's the PS3 background with the Final Fantasy VII live stream colors. I wasn't sure what to go with, so I was just like, yeah, the PS3 background's perfect because that's what I use for RetroArch too. What do you think of it? Rod, I haven't had a chance to look for them, but they have to be in my office somewhere. So Shannon, have you seen the Jason Universe update? Oh, that's the wrong one. They did a new look. I think Greg Nicotero helped design it.
Oh, I heard about this.
Pull it up here.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I know the new look has gotten a lot of criticism, but I haven't actually seen it.
I mean, best Star Wars. Yeah, everyone's saying Andor 2 is just like amazing. So Andor 1 was great. So I can't wait to check it out. And also, Brian, thanks for stopping by as well. Appreciate it. I'll find it. It's here somewhere. Alana probably ran with it or something. Right, I gotta go. Trailer. So this is a new look. I think Nicotero just like designed the outfit, which just kind of looks like the remake Jason. Next week is Friday the 13th. It's Jason's birthday. So I think they announced Crystal Lake. I think A24 is helping with it. There's a show. They've casted a bunch of people. I think Crystal Lake will probably be an interesting show, but I think they're either going to announce a movie or a new game.
Are they finally rolling with Crystal Lakes? I know that was kind of in limbo for a while.
They're building sets and stuff, so it's finally coming.
It's about time.
The 6th episode Brian says you should watch the 6-episode German show Cassandra. I have never heard of that. So
I haven't.
I'll check that out. Best Star Wars is Spaceballs, Rod says. I have not seen Spaceballs.
Great movie.
I've not seen Spaceballs in years. I know it's very quotable. I know they got what's his name from
Pizza the Hut.
Pizza the Hut, and what's his name from Ghostbusters? I can't believe I can't remember his name.
Oh God.
Harold Ramis. Thank you.
Yes.
Almost. That was almost embarrassing.
It's been a while since I've seen Spaceballs, but I remember like it used to be a thing in college.
Let's see. Up
We watched that movie all the time. Even like, yeah. Way back when.
Right.
Even being a Star Wars fan, I can appreciate Spaceballs.
Got a couple of movie trailers here. You guys see the first Black Phone?
I haven't watched it yet, but
Oh, okay.
I did see the trailer for the second one, and it looks really good. I was actually probably either tonight or tomorrow. I'll give the first one a watch.
The first one's good. Not great, but good. Ethan Hawke's really good in it. So
I've heard great things about Ethan Hawke's performance.
Oh, I'm with Brian on that one. Galaxy Quest is amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Galaxy Quest is so good.
That's another classic.
So yeah, they're kind of going with like a supernatural thing with this one, and I kind of like it, especially since they're not doing anything like Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm probably gonna get flagged down because of all these trailers, but it's fine. I'm not getting monetized anyway. A few more of these will break monetization anyway.
I'm trying to be PG-13 here and limit the F-bombs.
Yeah, you don't have to be. It's fine. As long as it's outside of the first minute or two, I think we're good.
I thought it was the first 10 minutes, so I was like really trying to be good for a while, but...
Brian, I can have up to 4 people when you come in by and hopping on. I got a whole new setup. I redid my whole audio. I got a Rodecaster. It's great. Spent way too much money. The trailer looks really cool. And it's coming out in October. Perfect time for a horror movie.
Perfect timing. Halloween. Yay. My
Like I
favorite
said,
time of the year.
The first movie wasn't the greatest, but it's pretty decent. The Mask is really cool, though.
The Mask is cool.
It's just a word.
I can only bring Odin down. The other 2 dogs are just too insane.
They
I know you don't do interviews. We're just talking about movies. You came here and talked about StarCraft. So for the next round, I grabbed Allagash Haunted House. Yes, it is a little bit older, but it's good. It's a dark ale.
I've had the Haunted House before. It's a good one.
So yeah, that looks really cool. Looks like it's doing a supernatural, like Freddy Krueger-esque edge. I'm down for it.
Music in the trailer was great too.
Oh, I'm
big
getting,
Alice in Chains fan.
Yeah, I'm getting flagged down for that alone. I forgot about that.
Yeah, oops.
Oops.
Well, I don't know. They slowed it down a bit, so you might get.
That's true. We'll see. I'm not too worried. I'm gonna have to pull it over. There's no way I have to make it. I'll just read it from here. Is too small there. Sorry guys. But let me pop this back up. This is a Scream 7 update I kind of wanted to talk about. I'm a huge fan of the Scream franchise. Kevin Williamson's back, which is exciting. He's directing. I don't think he's directed before, but he's written a bunch of movies besides Scream. You know, of course, he's done The Faculty. I think he did. I think he did at least the first. I know he did last summer too.
Mm-hmm.
all the movies have the same vibe. Big fan of it. Grew up watching them. I was probably too young to watch them, but I still did anyway. But yeah, Kevin Williams said he's glad to sign on for Scream 7 because the slasher sequel is all about Sidney Prescott. One of my biggest questions about the horror movie is how old Sidney's kids are. Sidney was pushing a stroller at the start of Scream 2022. I'm curious about the timeline. In an interview with comicbook.com, they explained that there will be a time jump. I might get contradicted by other people. In my mind, more than 2 years. So the kids are probably going to be at least like preteens or, close to 10. I think the time jump is a good idea, especially since fans haven't seen the iconic final girl since Ghostface came back in the 5th movie. To come across a fan idea about Ghostface, I also think that Scream 7 needs to make a bold choice when it comes to Ghostface.
Yes,
which
they
is
do.
Which is true because
Yep.
a lot of fans guess things and things get leaked. Especially with these sets, people leak everything.
I'm so happy to hear that. Looks like Stu lives. We shall see. And I'm really excited that Neve Campbell's back. I always liked her, just as an actress in general.
Rod, I don't know much about the new Zelda movies. I mean, gaming movies are hit or miss. Brian, thanks for stopping by. You're always welcome to come by and
thank you.
Hang out. Ghostface will be impressive, unlike what fans have seen before. A fan replied in a Reddit thread about the upcoming sequel. Can stand out from the rest of the franchise. I think that idea could work. Ghostfaces with different competing agendas. So this is why I kind of wanted to go through this and talk about this, because the last Scream movie kind of did that idea.
It did, yeah.
Where they had the one person that's Ghostface take out Samantha. Is it Samantha Weaving? Is her name?
Samara
Weaving. Yes, yes. She's the first kill, but it's just some like Ghostface imposter, and he gets killed by one of the real ones. So I could definitely see them doing that. There's always been the rumor of Cult of Stu as well, since in Scream 3, the original idea was pretty much what became the following because Kevin Williamson dropped off from Scream 3, and we all know. I think Scream 3 is okay, but I think it's the weakest entry in the whole
It definitely,
series.
yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I still had fun with it, but it was definitely the weakest.
I
of the
mean,
first
hey,
three.
they had a good music video with Creed, and Jay and Silent Bob are canon to the Scream universe, so we got that.
Yep. Snoochie boochies.
Yeah. I mean, again, Rod, I haven't even really watched the Mario movie. I mean, I hear that's good, but gaming movies are hit or miss. I mean, they've been like better, but I never thought Zelda would ever be a good idea as a movie, and I'm, not loving the things Nintendo are doing anyway, but that's neither here or there. Well, fans have been curious about a cult of Ghostfaces, which, that's the problem is I would love to see it, but it seems like the obvious way to go now.
Yeah.
I like the thought of Ghostfaces who are tracking down Sidney and making a list of enemies for different reasons. So, yeah, they could have like the idea they're thinking is there's going to be more than one group of Ghostfaces, and maybe the cult of Ghostface because time has passed. But it'd be cool if they like tied it all to Stu in the long run. They say he's got an expanded part. We're seeing him at Silver Scream Con. So I'm going to try to get any information I can out of him. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there with my Stu Live shirt and be like, come on, man. But
I'm just excited to meet him in general. Like, I'm a big fan of the cult classic Hackers from 1995, partially because it had such a kick-ass soundtrack to it, but also like he was one of the standouts in that movie.
He's great. He's great in Scooby-Doo too. He's great in everything. Is Five Nights at Freddy, which the Five Nights at Freddy movie, it's a PG-13 horror movie. So if you're a horror fan, it's not the greatest, but if you know the lore, it's actually not a bad movie. It's pretty good.
I enjoyed it. I didn't even know the lore behind it, but just going in like
they did a good job when it comes to the lore. The problem with the movie is just like they had to make it PG-13 because that's
I was going to say it's kind of campy, but I kind of liked that about that type of film. I don't know. It worked for what they were doing because it was just kind of ridiculous and over the top to begin with. So
even though, of course, Scream 7 will lean into the familiar nature of the franchise from returning final girl Sidney Prescott to Ghostface's singular look, some things will be different. The most notable change in the setting: a few months ago, fans found out that Sidney and her family live in the small town of Pine Grove, Indiana. Another big change: the long list of dead characters are returning. 2 Ghostface will be back. Matthew Lillard is playing Stu Mocker, and Scott Foley is reprising the role as Roman Bridger. David Arquette's coming back as Dewey Riley. But Scream,
I'm wondering how they're going to do that.
I think that's easy. Scream always brings in technology. It's AI.
You
What
think
I
they're
think,
gonna?
I think the
well,
Ghost.
I mean, it would go with the whole like meta thing that they.
That's what they do. So
constantly do,
I
yeah.
think the Ghostface is going to torment her with the voices of her dead friends and old adversaries.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I think at the end they're going to do some reveal that someone. It's going to lead to Stu, but I imagine they're going to somehow.
There's going to be a twist.
There's gonna be a twist that we don't see coming because like the Stu thing would be obvious, and I would be happy with that, but everyone's gonna think that, so I kind of think they're gonna go outside the box, like have someone else alive, like Amber or like one of the other killers somehow be still alive.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I do want to do a theory video. I'm gonna definitely think about it, and there's a lot of cool ways that can go. I'm excited for it though. I mean, I liked 5 and 6. I pretty much liked all of them. So bring Kevin Williamson back, I think, is the obvious choice, and I'm excited to see what he does. Supposedly they're filming Scream 8 as well. So
yeah,
I think we might get a new trilogy. I'd love to see one where at the end of this, Ghostface gets away and they continue, even if you know who it is. It'd be cool to just see where they go and what they do with it.
definitely.
I got one more bit of movie news here.
Okay, this I almost texted you about earlier because I was reading about this, how Blumhouse is gonna do a film adaptation of Phasmophobia.
Yep, exactly. So Phasmophobia, you've watched us play that before?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I hopped into one of your streams.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
It was pretty
where
cool.
you go into a house and you get clues and try to figure out what kind of ghost. You don't exercise the ghost or anything. You just figure out what kind of ghost it is. It's made by a small indie studio. It's a fun game, fun to play with friends. Unless you have a friend like mine, like my friend Sarah, who's really good at the game and walks into a house and knows what ghost is right away. But they don't exercise the ghost. They just figure out what it is and leave. So I'm curious what they make this movie about. I don't know if they're going to try to like exercise or just figure out what the ghosts are. I wonder, some of the kills can be kind of scary in the game. So I don't know if they're going to make this like a normal ghost movie or they're going to make it more like kind of like a Ghostbusters horror hybrid.
Yeah, that could go either way.
So Blumhouse, obviously they've made like Five Nights at Freddy. They've made Megan, Black Phone. They've made a lot of movies, the Halloween trilogy, the Annabelle. They make so many horror movies. They make cheaper horror movies and they make good money off of them. They've been doing it for years and it's just kind of their MO. Some of it's hit and miss. They made a lot of good movies in the beginning. Now it's kind of in between. They just got Saw as well, which I'm just kind of like.
Yeah, I was going to ask what you think about that.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely we'll get into Saw right after this.
Okay.
I have stuff to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, actually. Guys, yeah.
Yeah, Phasmophobia though, it's a popular game. I'm curious how they're going to make the movie. I think it's definitely a tough one to make, but gaming movies have been better. Not everyone loved Until Dawn, but I thought Until Dawn was at least fun. It wasn't just like the game.
I thought it was fun. It just fell apart in the third act where they just sped through the remaining days or nights that they had to figure out who's killing them.
There was some like cool nights that they definitely skipped over.
Yeah.
And that was kind of lame. I wish they showed those, but they kind of wrapped it together and kind of showed it as like a prequel to the game, which is kind of a cool idea. But, Until Dawn was kind of It was good, but not amazing. I had fun with it, though. A lot of people hated it. Either they loved it or hated it. I was kind of in between. But again, with Blumhouse, I don't know how they're going to do with this. I'm kind of worried about what they're doing with Saw. But the Phasmo movie, hopefully it'll be good. I'll definitely check it out. but we'll see what the trailer looks like. Hopefully,
I
they
have a
don't show
feeling
too
they're
much in
going
the
to lean
trailer.
into more of like the ghost thing, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, yeah, it's all about ghosts, so they'll
Well,
definitely.
I'm talking like, PG-13, ghosty, haunted house, spooky stuff.
Oh yeah, I think it'll probably be rated R because of the kills
think?
in that. Are the kills in Phasmo are pretty, I think they'll do like a graphic one with different like ghost types, and we'll see. It's early, so yeah, Blumhouse, you never know what you're gonna get. So hopefully that's good though. Hopefully do the game justice. Apparently Kinetic though is helping make the movie, so that could be a good sign. But yeah, Saw, I think so. Saw 11 was planned. There was a script. It kind of fell through. Tobin Bell is getting old, so I think they got to reboot it. I think it's going to be a Blumhouse reboot.
No, I love Tobin Bell, and I knew him long before he was Jigsaw. He made a cameo appearance in my favorite TV series, which was the USA Network's version of La Femme Nikita, which ran for 5 seasons, and he played one of the best baddies ever. So I knew him from that. So going into the Saw films, I thought, awesome, and he does play a great baddie. So I don't know. I know they're going to have to reboot it because he is 80 years old. But yeah, it's not really Saw without Tobin Bell.
Yeah, if you don't hear him saying "game
Just
over,"
me.
it's not the same. But I mean, what, he's in his 80s, I think.
Yeah, he's like, I want to say 82.
Yeah, so it's
Something
just
like
like
that.
same thing
I
as,
would
like,
love to meet him at one of the cons that we go to.
It's hard
but
to
I'm not even sure if he really does that much anymore.
No, it's hard to see Nightmare on Elm Street without Robert Englund. Same thing with him though; he's just too old to do it, and it's tough to replace those characters. So, the Saw games are kind of mixed. So, like I thought Saw 11 was good. It was gross, but Saw 11 I thought was 10. Wow.
10, yeah.
Saw 10 I thought was very good. It's gross, but I thought it was very good.
Oh yeah, I had to look away at some point. Like the Saw movies always teeter on the point that just where it stops being entertaining and it's just kind of too much gore.
I mean,
for me personally,
the first one's my favorite because it's more of like a thriller.
It's more of a crime drama.
So,
type of a deal.
And I thought 2 was good. 3 is probably the worst. 3's terrible. I mean, I'd probably put 3 even worse than Spiral. I can't stand 3.
I think I saw the first 4.
6 is good, and I think the same guy that did 6 did 10. He did a couple of them.
I didn't see anything past 4 until 10. So
6 is worth watching.
Okay.
The other ones,
I have to be in the right mood for those movies too.
But yeah, so that's the thing is like Blumhouse, like they did Halloween 2018, which I really liked. Halloween 2018. Halloween Kills is good for the kills, but there's no story to it. That's you're just watching it for him killing people. And then Halloween Ends, I did a whole video on it. It could have been much better. I think if they introduced Corey as a character in the first Halloween 2018, that would have been better, but it's a mess of a movie. So, just watch a 2018 and calling it a day is probably the best way to go with those movies. But that's Blumhouse for you. So we'll see what we get. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for the week. So we're going to go into our final segment, which we call Last Call. So you can start off if you want.
Oh, well, I've talked about my stuff. So Garbage's new album.
Oh, okay. Sure, you did that. All right, fair enough.
Because sometimes the M in BGM also means music.
Yesterday was the launch of the Final Fantasy Magic card release. They're way overpriced. I don't recommend you spending the extra money on them, but I had to because I'm a huge Final Fantasy nerd. So I'm going to be cracking these open later and building some commander decks or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I was going to open these on stream, but I'll probably just do it separately. I might stream a game after this. We'll see. But
you do an unboxing video?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cards here though, so and I'm not really
it could take a while.
And I'm not really like a card player. Like I haven't touched Magic. I haven't touched Magic in when they did the Dungeons and Dragons set and the Godzilla set, I had to do the Godzilla one. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. And then they did Final Fantasy, so had to get some more cards, but I don't really play Magic. I'm a recovered Magic player, except for this. This is it, I promise. But hopefully I get some good stuff. They're stupid expensive, so...
Well, if you want to get a Magic expert on, I'll put you in touch with my friend Tony. He's out in Buffalo. So he's all about Magic cards. He could tell you everything there is to know about Magic. So.
Yeah, my buddy Tim is too. So, you know...
Well, the three of you maybe should do something sometime. And
maybe, yeah. Like I said, you know, I do a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't do a lot of that on this channel. So, you know, like I said, we mostly do movies, games, and, you know, sometimes music. So, and beer. And beer. So, you know, do you have anything else or?
No, just thank you guys for tuning in, and I'm gonna do a shameless plug for me again. So
yeah, plug away, and then
I am G3 Media, also known as Shannon. I do DJ and marketing services. So Thor and I used to work together, and share an office, so which made for interesting times in that place. So yeah. Ever need a DJ? I do any type of genre, but I lean more towards alternative stuff. So, you know, you want to do gaming soundtracks for your special event, I can do that. Yeah, pretty much anything. I'm a metalhead, you know, industrial rocker. But yeah, I'll do any type of genre. You want me to play like 70s disco, I can do that too. So music is my passion. And yeah, so and I love all things pop culture. So thank you, Thor, for having me on. And I know this will be a reoccurring thing. So yeah. Thank you for everybody who tuned in tonight. And yeah.
Yeah, we'll be back next Saturday with whatever news. Do you have a hockey team? She watches hockey. She's so Rod asks what's her hockey team. She grew up near Canada.
Yes, I did.
So probably a Canadians fan.
Well, I will say, like, more of, like, on the college level, like, I went to a big hockey school for college. I went to SUNY Oswego. So, Lakers, all the way.
There you go. And Rod said classic 80s rock. Yeah,
yes.
She listens to,
I listen to everything. You name it. The only things I really don't do are opera and country. But, I mean, if somebody wants me to play that, I will.
And me, I love Silverstein's my favorite band.
He's gotten me into a lot of his stuff too, so I'll listen to anything.
We'll hold it against her. There you go. Well, hey Rod, thanks for hanging out with us. Glad Brian stopped by too.
Thank you guys.
And I'm Thor. Obviously, I've got this YouTube channel. I'm a big
nerd,
big gamer. I own a tech company. I used to do stand-up comedy. Hoping to do that again. And just doing a YouTube thing for fun, and I love
seeing where it goes.
Love making videos and trying this podcasting out to see if we can grow it a little bit, and hopefully we can add more people to this and grow this network and see what happens. But had a lot of fun doing this show, and thanks anyone who watched and anyone who listens in the future. We're gonna add this to all podcast platforms. I'll probably have it up by Monday or Tuesday because I gotta edit it and all that, but always tune in. We'll be here 8 o'clock live Saturdays, 8 o'clock Eastern. So check us out here on YouTube or on Twitch or on Kick or Facebook, whatever your preferred platform. I stream to all of them. And, comment below, join in the conversation, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right.
Thor and Shannon out.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.